So. Hier irgendwas da werde ich wahrscheinlich auch nicht. Of course not. Ja. Der Himmel zappelt immer, wenn ich hier irgendwie... So, Grabkammer, bla bla bla, Standbild, was ist eigentlich... Ja, okay. Standbild, Pflanzen. Und da sind sie wieder, die Pflanzen, die man anklicken kann. Himmel, Engel, bla. Markierungen. Opfergabe. Aber die Markierungen eigentlich... Haben wir nicht anfangs mal in dieses komische Buch, das wir hier haben, Sachen reingemalt? Nein, haben wir nicht. Aber... Ah, also doch. Okay. Aber haben wir die hier drin? Ach, das ist das hier. I remember. Ja, okay. Das haben wir wahrscheinlich auch schon jedem gezeigt. Natürlich, weil ansonsten... So, dann zurück. Vielleicht hat unsere Assistentin ja in der Zwischenzeit...
Oh boy, party time.
So, ich weiß gar nicht mehr, wie wir da hier zurückgeblieben sind. Ich glaube, da war doch irgendwie... wir haben mir einen Auftrag gegeben, irgendwie Sachen rauszufinden, oder? Ja. Vielleicht hat sie ja was Neues für uns.
What's up?
Ha! Achso, beantragen. Aber machen wir doch.
Sure, what?
Ein Muster forschen, ja, das ist dann natürlich... Ach so, diese Zeichnung. Ja, natürlich.
Interesting. What is it?
It's a reconstruction of the tracings they found around the murder victims. The ones done in flour and blood.
Yuck. You shouldn't carry this kind of thing around. Who knows what these symbols mean?
Well, wear your evil banishing gloves if you want, but check it out for me, would you?
I'll see what I can find out.
Ja, bin mal gespannt, was da rausfindet.
Anything else?
Mir fällt nichts ein.
I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything. Nachrichten?
Do you have messages for me?
Nope, none right.
Okay. So, Dalee. Leiter, Bücher, das haben wir alles schon angeschaut. Gab es da hinten noch irgendwas? Ist Miss Geddy vielleicht schon da? Nein. Shirts, Badezimmer, bla 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 bla. Nichts anderes. Wir können natürlich mal gucken, ob hier jetzt irgendwas noch weiter vergammelt ist. Oh, ich habe übrigens nochmal nachgeschaut. Dieses Mardi Gras, das gibt es tatsächlich. Das ist ein traditionelles Straßenfest, das die da öfter mal feiern. Okay, gekühlter Sekt. Das ist ganz wichtig. Da freut sich die Maria, aber... Nee, gar nicht wahr. Die... Mist, wie hieß sie jetzt mit Vornamen?
Gabriel, shut that refrigerator, please. Oh, I can smell it from here.
Women.
Okay, wir konnten nichts rausnehmen. Gut, dann Action. Ist das die aktuelle Zeitung von heute?
Today's newspaper is on the counter.
Today ist anders als gestern. Vielleicht steht hier was Neues drin.
Times dated June 20th, 1993. Gabriel scans over an uninteresting front page.
Okay.
Under the cultural events section, there's a notice about a lecture on African religions.
Ach, schau.
The lecture is at Tulane University. Gabriel's horoscope for the day. An evil eye is upon you. Change your course before it's too late.
Lighten up.
Okay. Wir haben Punkte gekriegt. Wofür? Für diesen Artikel oder was?
Times dated June 20th, 1990. Under the cultural...
Ja, habe ich jetzt verstanden? Habe ich verstanden. Habe ich verstanden. Okay. Ach, jetzt habe ich es verstanden. Es ist kein... Es ist eine Vorlesung, eine öffentliche. An dieser Universität. Okay. Weißt du was? Da kommen wir doch hin. Da haben wir jetzt sonst nichts zu tun. Wir wissen ja eh nicht, wo wir hin sollen. Dann gehen wir doch einfach mal in eine öffentliche Vorlesung über afrikanische Kultur. Und ja, da wird es sicher ein bisschen was über Voodoo geben. Schauen wir mal. Sollte hier nicht neuer Knubbel... Ah, ja klar, der Hut.
It looks like the lecture is just starting.
Perfektes Timing.
Voodoo is the tribal religion of Africa, but the name Voodoo is actually a banner heading, under which resides an entire body of distinct tribal belief systems. The word voodoo may sound familiar to you. What is known in the States as voodoo is actually an amalgamation of African religious systems, voodoo, and European religions, primarily Catholicism. All of the subcults of African voodoo have certain things in common. The most important is the worship of a pantheon of spirits, instead of the single deity that the Christian and Muslim systems have. Some of these spirits are elementals, some relate to specific tasks or places, some represent important tribal leaders who have died. This spirit worship is what makes voodoo so easily adaptable. With all these spirits, it's no problem to add a few more. Say, for example, the Virgin Mary. At the height of tribal Africa, warfare was common. One tribe would conquer another, and the Loa, important in the conqueror's tribal system, would be adopted readily into the conquered tribe's Loa pantheon. In this way, many of the voodoo cults spread and mingled throughout tribal Africa, enriching the belief system and causing innumerable offshoots. The basis for the voodoo religion seems to be as old as man himself. It has much in common with many early pagan practices: animal totems, sympathetic magic, elemental spirits in the trees, the heavens, the bodies of the sick. Africa is believed by many to be the cradle of the human race. Some of the voodoo Loa may be as old as the Garden of Eden itself. We still can't explain some of the real power of these primal religions. And note, I said primal, not primitive. There are African Bokors who baffle our scientists with their supernatural powers. Now, let's discuss the elements of voodoo.
Fascinating guy.
In voodoo, the spirits are called the Loa. During a voodoo ceremony, celebrants are possessed by the Loa. This is called being ridden. The human worshipper is seen as a horse, and the Loa as the divine horseman. A person being ridden by a Loa takes on the characteristics of that spirit and becomes, in effect, merely a vessel for the more powerful entity. Some of the older original Africa Loa include Dambala, the great serpent god, Ezuli, the mistress of love, Papa Nebo, or Gede, the lord of death, Awe, the spirit of water, Legba, spirit of the crossroads, and the cruelest and most dangerous, Ogun Badagri, the lord of destruction.
I gotta get more sleep at night.
Tribe-specific Loa can have as much or more power as the more widely worshipped Loa. For instance, a particular tribe might revere highly the Loa of an ancestor who was a legendary hunter or politician. Voodoo temples are called Houndfors. Their priests, Houngan or Bokors, their priestesses, Mama Loa. In a Voodoo Houndfor, there's a ritual circle marked by a center pole called a Poto Meton. During ritual conclaves, initiates dance under the supervision of a Bokor and a Mama Loa, or head priestess. The use of totems, or animal masks and markings, was not uncommon in the original African ceremonies. Now, though, all but the oldest sects have abandoned this practice. Ritual objects used during the conclaves included the ritual gourd, or asan, the ritual knife, or kubasa,
That knife gives me the chills.
the ritual whip, or fouetcache, and the ritual coffin, or seke madule.
Ah, den kennen wir doch.
These items are often optional, called for by the Mama Loa for specific magical rituals. The Mama Loa is the most powerful figure in any voodoo sect. Voodoo is a truly matriarchal system. Even the Bokor knows his power is limited. The Mama Loa is the supreme woman. She goes out of her house at night, sees many things, and tries to get butterflies. And at night again, she sees other things, including fireflies.
Das kann ich mir nicht alles merken.
Gabriel?
What?
Was für klein geschlafen.
Gabriel, get in.
Can't. It's too small for me.
You must get in, Gabriel.
It's not mine. Too small.
Hide, Gabriel, hide.
No! Let me out! Help!
Young man, the lecture is over.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Schön. Nein, nicht gehen. Wir haben Fragen. Ah, sehr gut. So, wir gucken uns erstmal um, weil wir wissen ja, was passiert, wenn wir
A projection screen
Mit Leuten reden.
dominates the front of the hall.
Dann fliegen wir meistens raus. Das ist einfach-
Gabriel's in one of the lecture halls at Tulane University. A lighted sign says exit.
Ich muss mal gucken, ob es diese Sachen auch manchmal gibt. Ich habe angefangen, dieses Mardi Gras zum Beispiel zu googeln. Ich habe auch versucht zu gucken, ob es diese Getty-Familie gibt und so, weil diese ganzen Gabriel Knight-Geschichten ja durchaus auch sich ein bisschen anlehnen an den typischen Legenden, die es da so gibt in den Städten. Im zweiten Teil, wenn wir das noch sehen, da spielen wir nämlich alles in München und so. Deshalb sollte ich mal anfangen, die ganzen Sachen auch mal nachzulesen. Ich glaube, das ist ganz spannend. Könnte der ganzen Let's Play-Nummer ja auch noch ein bisschen einen kleinen Drive geben.
Hartridge's throne.
Den
Gabriel
benutzen
isn't
wir.
in the mood to give a lecture.
So, tja, das ist alles jetzt nicht so spannend. Also gucken wir mal, ob wir einfach mal...
Dr. Hartridge is
Mit dem reden.
sharp-eyed and even sharper-tongued. When he condescends to look at Gabriel at all, it is with a dismissive glare.
Tja, Universitätsprofessoren habt.
Are you a student?
No. My name is Knight. Gabriel Knight.
Well, you've already interrupted and slept through my lecture, Mr. Knight. I hope you have something worthwhile to do here. If you figure it out, let me know.
Ach, ist ja jetzt auch kaum irgendwie ein Thema, ne? Ha, Leute, das wird wieder eine kleine Redefolge.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
You already sat through my lecture on the subject, Mr. Knight. Perhaps next time you could stay awake and learn something.
Genau. Ja, wir haben doch ein bisschen aufgepasst.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
I've read about them in the papers. I must admit to some interest.
Aha.
But according to the newspapers, the voodoo aspect is faked, so I haven't really pursued it. You know how Americans, especially Hollywood, treat voodoo. I'm sure there are many so-called practitioners out there that have no idea what they're doing or the power they're playing with.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
I find it interesting to see the occasional fragment of voodoo practices in the everyday culture of New Orleans.
Er hat Voodoo gesagt und nicht Voodoo. Die haben ja total Mystik übersetzt, die Freunde hier.
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
The Catholic Church has always dominated in New Orleans, and its imagery in turn has dominated New Orleans voodoo.
Aha.
What else can you tell me about New Orleans?
If there's more you wish to know, perhaps you should read my books.
Oh, der Herr junge Professor hat Bücher geschrieben.
Do you know anything about snakes?
I'm not a zoologist, Mr. Knight, but I know all I care to about reptiles.
Ah, das wird jetzt hier durchaus ein bisschen kleiner.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It's June 23rd, the feast day of St. John the Baptist. But June 23rd has been a sacred day since the earliest times. Ancient sun worshippers used to roll a flaming wheel down a hill to celebrate the sun's descent on that day.
Ach, das ist süß. Ein brennendes Rad.
Wheel.
So.
Do you know what caprice encore means?
Caprice en cour? Yes, I do. It's a Haitian term, I believe. It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
As in a female goat?
No, as in a human sacrifice. Sacrifices in voodoo are usually of the animal variety. Chickens, bulls, goats. If the gods demand a goat without horns, it means a human being.
Interesting. Oha, also sind wir schon verflucht worden. Wir erinnern uns, das war das Fluchwort, das er uns, der Typ, der diesen komischen Voodoo-Store da hat. Das ist das, was er uns hinterher geschrien hat.
What was that translation for caprice encore again?
It's French, and literally translates as goat without horns.
Okay. So, jetzt gehen wir mal ein bisschen in die anderen Themen noch rein.
Do you know
Das
anything
heißt aber
about Marie
Maria.
Laveau?
While I find the colloquial bastardizations of voodoo somewhat interesting, from a sheerly intellectual point of view, there's not a lot of relation between people like Laveau and true voodoo practices.
Aha. Das sah der Typ im Museum aber ein bisschen anders.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
As I said in my lecture, which I assume you actually listened to, is that animal masks, totems, are used extensively in most African voodoo religions.
So, jetzt kommen wir an diese
Do you
Zeichnungen.
know anything about veves?
If you'd taken notes during my lecture, you wouldn't have to ask.
Gott.
Tell me about Damballa.
Damballa is one of the major Rada Loa, also known as Damballa Wedo. He is an ancient Dahomean rain god, often represented as a large boa constrictor. Damballa is the most powerful and most violent of the Rada Loa. The Rada Loa are typically benevolent, as opposed, say, to the Patro Loa. He is still worshipped heavily in Haiti, and when voodoo first started in New Orleans, the early conclaves were reportedly based on the worship of the great zombie, the great serpent Damballa.
Aha.
Tell me more about Damballa.
I have extensive courses in the Loa running next semester. Perhaps you should take one of those, Mr. Knight.
Muss er Studiengebühren bezahlen?
Tell me about Ogun Badagri.
Ogun Badagri is one of the Patroloa. The Patroloa are much more violent than the Radaloa. Some people believe the Patroloa originated in Haiti, but I have found some evidence that the Patroloa were African as well, though worshipped only by a small voodoo tribe, and a very bloody one.
Da fehlt mir jetzt ein bisschen der Zusammenhang. Ist mir jetzt nicht ganz klar, wo dieser Begriff jetzt überhaupt herkommt.
Tell me more about Ogun Badagri.
He is a chief nasty, Mr. Knight. He is the spirit of war and destruction.
Mhm. Na gut.
Tell me about yourself.
All right, Mr. Knight. I'm 35, a fully tenured professor at this university, as well as a fellow at Cambridge. My doctorate was obtained at Syracuse. Yes, Syracuse, in religious studies. I'm an agnostic, but I find human belief systems fascinating. I specialize in African religions because I grew up there. My father was a Protestant missionary. And I am heterosexual, when I practice sex at all, which isn't very often. Any other questions?
No. I'd really like to know more about you.
There have been several articles written about me, Mr. Knight, as well as blurbs on my book jackets.
Tja, dann gucke ich mal, ob er einen Wikipedia-Artikel hat, der Professor Hartridge.
Your lecture was terrific.
Oh, you think so? You were snoring so loud, I didn't think you'd heard it.
You must travel a lot.
Yes, to Africa mainly.
Na komm, geh.
I'm very interested in voodoo myself right now.
How nice for you.
Alright,
Tell
Menschenopfer.
me more about human sacrifice.
It's very rare. Most voodoo practices do not include human sacrifice as a matter of record, but it is theoretically possible, if that's what the gods demand. For example, One of the chants I had translated for me from a Haitian ritual went like this. Mistress Ezuli, come and aid us. If a cock is demanded, we will give it. If a bull will suffice, behold it. But if a goat without horns is required for sacrifice, oh, where will we find one? Ezuli is the gentlest of Loire, so they call on her for mercy. But I have seen grown and powerful Houngan tremble before possession by one of the more violent Loire, such as Papa Nebo. Clearly, they are afraid that something of the sort will be ordered, or that Loire will simply take it for themselves.
Aha.
Tell me more about human sacrifice.
I wouldn't dwell on it. Most voodoo sects probably haven't seen a human sacrifice for several generations.
Okay. So, dann zeigen wir einfach mal ein paar Sachen noch, die wir gefunden haben. Vielleicht angefangen mit dem da. Gucken, was er dazu sagen kann.
Can you tell me anything about this?
No, I've never seen those symbols. Therefore, they're probably meaningless.
Really?
Das sind die wir auf dem Grab gefunden
I'm
haben.
never wrong, Mr. Knight. Therefore, sure is not in my vocabulary.
Was für ein junger Gott. So, dann das da.
Can you tell me anything about this?
Wow. Interesting.
Aha.
Very interesting. Mind if I copy this?
Be my guest.
Great. I'll be right back.